Okay, whatever. I'm not going to make a summary about yesterday because everyone knows a summary about yesterday. Shabbat is the one day I spend with God. There's nothing else, right? It's like the wedding night. There's not supposed to be anything outside of you and God, right? No distractions. You could fully connect. If there's something else, then obviously I'm not going to fully connect, right? And therefore, every single day of the week, what did God do? He created layers so that His light would be able, your light would be able to exist at the same time. His light exists, but you wouldn't be blinded by that because that would take away your free will. Because if you would be able to completely see God, your soul would detach and connect to God. And if you would completely be able to see God, you would have no free will because you would just do whatever God wants all of the time. So God says, I want to relate to you. In order to do that, we need to play hide and seek. So that you look for me, I hide, you seek, life is great. But then what happened? On Shabbat, God says, I'm going to stop hiding. Right? I'm going to stop hiding. Why? Because what I want the most is to have a relationship with you. But if I keep on hiding, then you won't be able to see me. But at the same time, if you keep on hiding Him, by creating physicality, you won't be able to see God, right? And this is why we also stop creating. This is why we said that it is written that if all of the Jewish people would keep Shabbat, Mashiach would come. Apparently, the only mitzvah that could bring Mashiach is Shabbat. Because Shabbat is a state that you only have God. That's exactly Mashiach. When Mashiach comes, everyone will recognize God. We will all be friends. Great. Beautiful. This is why, by the way, if you understand what I'm telling you right now, you could understand lots of things. People always say, right, why can I do anything on Shabbat? If Shabbat is the day of rest, why does everything take that much work, right? This is an obvious question that people have. And also people really don't understand why is it that I cannot do whatever I cannot do on Shabbat. So pretty much it goes like this. There are two types of work in the Torah. There is one work that's called avodah. Avodah means physical work. Is this forbidden in Shabbat to do physical work? Yes or no? No. If you want to rearrange this whole room and you carry all of the tables and all of the chairs, did you do physical work? Yes. Did you break Shabbat? No. You anyway shouldn't do it, right? Because it affects the environment of Shabbat. It is distraction. It's like watching TV. It's not like it's forbidden, but like, what are you doing, right? And also, how can you allow your soul to rest if your body is not resting, right? But that's not what is forbidden in Shabbat. What is forbidden in Shabbat is called melacha. Melacha means a creative activity. What does it mean to have a creative activity, right? This is very important. We do not create like God's create. God creates something out of nothing, right? He brings something into a world that doesn't exist. Now, we cannot do that, but we are made in the image of God, and therefore we can create in our own level. In human terms, creating means two things. Either I make something out of something, or I give something a new purpose. This is what we call creating. So whenever I'm bringing something new, even out of prime materials or whatever that is, I am still creating, right? So let's say we know that it is forbidden to light the candles in Shabbat, to light the light. So now if it's dark in this room, right, and I light the lights, I switch it on, did it took me any physical effort? No. Did I bring something new that wasn't there? Yes. I brought light. And therefore what happens? I made physicality thicker because there was something that is now there that it wasn't there before, right? Oh, there's something there. You know, it was, okay. There must have something that wasn't there before. Okay, no one likes Beauty and the Beast. One second. This is why, by the way, right? Oh, I was going to go into it. But most people say, in Shabbat, you don't create. Why don't you create? So that you could recognize there's a creator. And I'm going to talk about this later. But the purpose of Shabbat is not only to recognize there's a creator, is to relate to a creator. I could recognize there's a source of goodness in my life and still not have a relationship with Him. And therefore, what I say in Shabbat is, God, the world keeps on turning without me, but it doesn't keep on turning without you. And therefore, the whole purpose is, hello, you're giving me so much in my life. You're doing all of this stuff for me. It brings you to appreciate, to fall in love, and to have a relationship with God. By the way, if you understand this, you pretty much understand every single melacha. I'm going to give you one example. Yeah?
I'm so sorry. Can you please repeat the two things in human terms?
Make something out of something. I'm going to explain this. Or give something a new purpose. Yes? Great. So there's one thing we don't do in Shabbat. Has everyone heard of this? You're not supposed to rip toilet paper. There's different prohibitions about this. You're not supposed to rip it in the line or like whatever. To make the story short, I am not teaching you halakha, but in order for something to be forbidden from the Torah, it needs to have certain conditions. If it doesn't have these conditions, then it's not forbidden from the Torah, but rather from the rabbis. For example, it needs to be done in a permanent way, right? It needs to be done for a constructive purpose. It needs to be done in a usual way, okay? These are some of the conditions for it to be forbidden from the rabbis. So let's say there's a hospital that keeps Shabbat here in Israel. What they do is like they use non-permanent ink. You know, like the one from Gocha? It lasts less than 24 hours, and therefore it is forbidden from the rabbis, but not from the Torah. And for the sake of like health, you would do it. So one time, so again, if it doesn't have certain conditions, there are 5, it's forbidden from the rabbis, but sometimes we're lenient with it because of human dignity. One of these things is toilet paper. Let's say you went to a toilet and there was no ripped toilet paper, and you did number 2. What are you supposed to do? You just don't clean yourself? Of course you have to clean yourself. But ripping toilet paper is, a prohibition. So what do a rabbi say? You could do it in a way that it's only forbidden from the rabbis, and therefore it's not that strict. How do you do it from the rabbis? So you go against one of the conditions. One of the conditions is that it has to be done in a usual way. So in order to do it on Shabbat, you do it with a shinui. A shinui means you do it in an unusual way. Let's say you want to mix your salad, you mix it with the left, or you mix it like this. You understand, in an unusual way. So I remember, when I was like here in Neve, they told me, what is one of the best ways of ripping toilet paper in an unusual way? By the way, I'm pretty sure the rabbi never tried this, because men don't use that much toilet paper. But I am pretty sure the rabbi never tried this because this is so hard. So he said, if there's no ripped toilet paper, what should you do? You let it rip by itself. How does this work? You flush the toilet and the paper rips. Okay, does this work? No, it just gets the toilet paper wet. Okay, so I was one time in Panama. I used to give shiur every third meal of Shabbat. So I'm the speaker. You would think I'm famous. You treat me well. What do I request? Ripped toilet paper and bread. What is the only 2 things I don't get? Ripped toilet paper and bread. There was every type of cookie and salad you would ever want, but no bread, no ripped toilet paper. So Raquel goes to a bathroom, okay, and suddenly and then what do I notice? There's no toilet paper. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do now? So I remember I should cut it with a shinui. This is like when I was just from, I should cut it with like a shinui. But now there's a problem because the toilet paper, it's in between your legs, and we have skirts and underwear and everything, so I had to take off everything and start running, I was flushing and the toilet paper was just getting wet, and I'm like, hello, are you not ripping? Flush again, what happens to a toilet paper? Gets wet. Everyone is knocking on the door. People probably thought I had a bad stomach, okay, whatever, and they're like, why are you flushing so much? Okay, to make the story short, I had to end up ripping the toilet paper with my elbow, something like that, and then everything was fine. But you know what I learned? Can I fully use the toilet paper for the purpose I want without ripping it? Yes or no? No. Therefore, ripping toilet paper, it's a melacha. It's a creative activity. It makes the toilet paper into a usable utensil. You understand? The same thing as opening a can. How do you open the can in Shabbat? You make a hole on the bottom and then you open it. Why? Because if I only open it, can I use the can for anything else? Yes. People in California could boil eggs, right? You could use it to as a container. But if I open a hole, I can't use it anymore. I can't write. I can't sew. 2 letters by themselves don't say anything. But together, they're already making a statement, right? When I sew, I'm putting 2 pieces of material together. I'm making it into something else. You see this? This is each one of the 39 melachot. What am I doing? I am creating and giving something a new purpose. And the whole point is, if I keep on creating, how am I going to recognize there's God? You know when you get somewhere and you feel before you got there, nothing happened because you were not there? You know what I'm talking about? When I became a madricha in Neve, I had to make a video of photos. There were only photos from the moment I became a madricha. Because obviously there was no life before me. You know what I'm talking about? Right? Nothing happened, right? Our lives, we always think everything evolves around us. We're the main one. It's not like I thought, but obviously I know myself. I know me. I don't know anything else, right? Shabbat, says God, How are you expecting to relate to anyone else outside of yourself if you're only in yourself? And therefore, stop. Recognize. First of all, you know how amazing it is? Everyone wants to have control in life. You know, you feel like if you don't do something, no one is going to do it. But guess what? On Shabbat, the world keeps on moving. You know, and you didn't do anything. And that's such a break for you that you could just let go and understand that someone is picking up everything for you. You understand? But apart from that, you wake up and you still have the same things in your life. You still have, you know, your house, your keys, your whatever you want. But you realize, I didn't give it to myself. God gave it to me. And therefore, it allows you to have this whole new relationship with God. I want to tell you something really deep, and you'll see this. We know that when Adam sinned in the Garden of Eden, what was his punishment? He was, right, thrown out of the Garden of Eden. So really, he sinned on Friday, but Shabbat said to Hashem, why, you can't kick him out of on Shabbat. Let him stay Shabbat on the Garden of Eden, and you'll kick him out after Shabbat. Okay, great. So what happened? After Shabbat, God kicks out Adam of the Garden of Eden. This is why, by the way, I'm not going to go into it, but you have 4 meals on Shabbat. The fourth one, it's called Melaveh Malka. Right after Shabbat is done, you're supposed to have a meal with bread, okay? It feeds your bone from which you're going to resurrect. You know, because that was the first meal Adam had as a mortal being. You know this? Cool. So it feeds the bone. So eat. I don't think you should worry about eating carbs, but I'm just saying. Okay? But what is the point? So Hashem kicks Adam out of Gan Eden, right? And Midrash says that Hashem taught Adam how to make 2 things. Anyone ever heard this? Hashem himself came and he taught Adam how to make 2 things. Number 1, fire, because it's the middle of the night. You need to have light. He taught him how to make fire. This is why, by the way, most people think that whenever you talk about what Shabbat is, oh, you can't do fire. That's one melacha, right? But that was the first thing that Hashem taught Adam how to do, so you relate it to it. That's why we also do fire right after Shabbat. What else did Hashem taught Adam how to do? Bread? No, but I'm going to talk about bread soon. You know what he taught him? How to make a mule. You know what's a mule? Not a donkey. Mula. Mule. A mule is a mixture of horse and a donkey. How do you call that in English? A mule. Yeah. So question. A mule is a hybrid. Yes? Do you say hybrid by animals too? Hybrid. This is why cars are hybrid. No, I just wanted to know if you could say by animals too. So maybe you only say by plants. Can we make hybrids in the Torah? It's forbidden. You cannot make a new fruit out of 2 other fruits. You could manipulate one fruit, but you cannot mix them. You understand? Because that would be like bringing a new creation into a world. If someone made it, you could enjoy it, okay? But you cannot make it. This is forbidden in the Torah.
So you can still eat it?
You could still eat it. So life is great. You know, cherry tomatoes were invented in Israel. But that's different. That's manipulating. You know, are cherry tomatoes mixed with cherries? No, they just call them cherry tomatoes because they're cute. Okay, but if you would have tomatoes and cherries and you make a new species, that's not allowed. Also with animals, by the way. So now the question is, you're not allowed to make a hybrid, but Hashem taught Adam how to make one? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Why? So I'm going to tell you why. Wait and you'll see. She was talking about the bread, right? Let's just talk about the bread for one moment. You guys ever notice that when we make a motzi lechem min haaretz, everyone holds the bread with their 10 fingers? This is like halakha, you should do this. And then, by the way, the blessing of the bread is very different than every other blessing on food. Because every other blessing on food, you pretty much say like this. Baruch atah Hashem boreh mineh, boreh peri, boreh, right? You always say, you created, you made, shakol niyah bidbaro, everything is like your word. The blessing of bread, it's very, very different. What do you say? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Literally, it means the one that takes out the bread from the ground. Why do you have such a different language, right? By the way, now you're going to get this. Maybe you ever asked this. If you have newly married people on your Facebook, I don't know if anyone has ever noticed this, but Friday is challah picture day. Everyone takes pictures of their chalot. And I'm like, who cares? So you made challah. You know, by the way, people are so proud when they make challah. Has anyone ever noticed this? It's not that hard. But when people make challah, they just go like, wow. There are people that post their halal pictures, whatever. So obviously people just think like, wow, I'm a housewife, whatever you want to call it. But look into that subconscious. Why are people so proud when they make bread? I mean, if you make macaroons or something, then you should be proud. But bread? By the way, how do people make bread in their bread machine? You know, like, what did you do? You put the ingredients and mixed it, and then you like braid it in a very ugly fashion. Okay, whatever. I'm joking. If you people want to learn how to braid halot nicely, I'll teach you. I actually made all of my bread by hand, but I don't post pictures. You understand? But one thing that annoys me, everyone posts pictures about their bread. So I decided one day, I was thinking about this. I was like, why does everyone post pictures about their bread? We know that bread is the most basic necessity of human beings. But now, I don't know if you know this, even though bread is the most basic necessities, meaning when you think about simple food, that's bread, bread is the most complicated food to make. Not like you make it, but in order to make bread, from the moment you plant the seed until bread comes into your table, there are 10 halachic processes, 10 mitzvot. This is why you hold it with your 10 fingers. And therefore, what happens, listen to it, it's amazing. Whenever you eat anything, what is the blessing? Borei peri, Borei mineh, the one that created. Because the fruit you're eating looks exactly like the fruit that came out of the tree. It is not hard for you to recognize the source of that fruit, right? But the bread looks very different. Not only does it look very different, you work so hard. And therefore, it is very hard for you to recognize it was made by God. What do you think? I made it. You know why everyone posts pictures of their halot? Because you feel like a creator. I did this. No, you didn't do anything, but I did. You know, because look at the bread. It looks so different. And therefore, you know what we're saying? We're saying something deep. It might look like you did it, but hamotzi lechem min haaretz. God brought that potential for you to be able to make it. And I want you to understand, one time I went to like in Panama, whenever you have like a baby, a bride, whatever, you make a shower. This is Syrian people. It's pretty much an excuse to eat. Okay? Beautiful. The point is, one time we went to a baby shower, and my sister Rivka, okay? Now she's on TV too. She is obsessed with yellow cake from Duncan Hines. You know what's Duncan Hines? Duncan Hines, ready to make cakes. What do you call them? You have Betty Crocker, and then you have Duncan Hines. That's competition. Duncan Hines is so much better. No? Yellow cake. Taste that one. Ganere. Okay? What do you have in South Africa? She doesn't eat cake. South Africans don't eat carbs. What can we do? They only eat chips. But the point is, my sister goes to a shower, and you know, like the way it works, it's like everyone brings a dessert or a salad or something, and there's like a million things. So we're tasting this cake, and my sister tastes this cake, and she yells, "My favorite yellow cake from Duncan Hines." And the lady that made it right away gets offended, and she's like, "It's not yellow cake." She's like, "Of course it's yellow cake. It's my favorite cake." And the lady's like, "It's not yellow cake. I made it." And my sister's like, "Maybe you made the cream, but really it's yellow cake." And I'm looking at this lady. She's so embarrassed. And, you know, I'm like thinking like, Rivka, shush, shush. You know, like, she doesn't want you to know she didn't make it. But now question, why does she care so much? Really, it's Duncan Hines. But you know what? We all have this need. We're made in the image of God, right? The greatness is you're as great as God. The placebo and the, you know, other side is I think I'm God. I want to be the creator. I made the yellow cake. No, you didn't make it. You made it out of material that was already there. But we all feel like we want to say we did it. You understand? We love taking credit for things. Sometimes I see someone, they make these chocolate chip cookies from Duncan Hines, and they just go like, "Oh, my chocolate chip." You took it from Duncan Hines and even burned them. You know, like whatever. Let's not even talk about this. But like, everyone has this feeling they need to feel like a creator. Comes God and says, "Wait, you made this bread and you exerted effort in it, but you wouldn't have been able to do it in lo hamotzi lechem if I wouldn't have given you the potential to make it." You understand? And therefore, let's go back. What did Hashem taught Adam how to do right after, you know, Shabbat? Fire. Fire is the most creative activity. You cannot do practically anything in life without fire. You know what God says to Adam? "Look, you are a creator. You could do whatever I do." You know, by the way, our rabbis say that Hashem gave Adam the ability to create in the same order as God created. What was the first thing God made? Light. Now comes Adam and makes light also. But what does God says? "You wouldn't have been able to make it without me. I taught you how to make the light." Right? The mule same story. You know what Hashem is telling Adam? Hello, you can create. Not only can you create, you could make an animal I didn't bring into this world. Not only could you make you could make a whole new species, but you wouldn't have been able to do it if I wouldn't have given you the prime material to make it. And you know, by the way, what's an amazing thing? The mule does not reproduce. You can make a new one, but it will not last, because that's the difference between man and God. And it's not like God wants you to know who's the boss. I mean, God is the boss, but you need to know who's the boss. Because when you want to have control of everything and when you think you could do everything, life is hard. Just let it go, let it go, right? Just let it go. Life is going to be much more easy. So therefore, what is Shabbat? I stop creating in order to recognize there is a creator. In order to also recognize he wants to relate to me, I want to relate to him. But you know what's also so beautiful? He allows me to feel like I'm the boss pretty much every day of my life. Really? God allows you to feel like you own everything and everything is yours and you make your own decisions. But for my own sake, I shouldn't forget there really is a boss. Because if not, then I won't be able to be able to exist. I won't be able to survive because I want to have control of everything I'm doing. So that's part number 1. Great. Moving on.